A special thank you to each of our subscribers who make this channel possible. Here's today's story. In a significant development in the ongoing conflict between Russia and Ukraine, U.S. Special Envoy Steve Witkoff is set to meet with Rustem Umerov, the head of Ukraine's National Security Council, in Miami this Thursday. This meeting comes on the heels of Witkoff's lengthy 5-hour discussion with Russian President Vladimir Putin in Moscow, which, according to the Kremlin, yielded no compromises towards ending the war. U.S. President Donald Trump, who was present at the Moscow talks alongside his son-in-law Jared Kushner, described the discussions as reasonably good. However, he cautioned that it was premature to predict the outcome of the negotiations, emphasizing that it takes two to tango. Ukrainian Foreign Minister Andriy Sybiha has been vocal about the need for Russia to end the bloodshed, accusing Putin of wasting the world's time with his intransigence. When pressed by reporters on whether Witkoff and Kushner believed Putin genuinely wanted to end the war, Trump responded that their impression was that Putin would like to see an end to the conflict. Meanwhile, Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky has indicated that a meeting between U.S. and Ukrainian negotiators is imminent, asserting that there is a palpable opportunity to conclude the war. However, he underscored that any negotiations must be supported by pressure on Russia to ensure compliance. The recent talks in Moscow followed a series of meetings involving U.S. officials and European leaders, amid concerns that the proposed peace deal heavily favored Russian demands. Yuri Ushakov, Putin's foreign policy aide, noted that while some U.S. proposals were acceptable, others faced outright criticism from the Russian leader. Key points of contention remain, particularly regarding the status of Ukrainian territories occupied by Russian forces and the security guarantees that Ukraine seeks. Kiev, along with its European allies, believes that NATO membership is essential for deterring future Russian aggression, a notion that Russia vehemently opposes. Trump has similarly indicated he has no plans to support Ukraine's NATO aspirations. The Kremlin has acknowledged that the prospect of Ukraine's NATO membership was a critical issue discussed during the Moscow talks. Ushakov suggested that Russia's negotiating position has been bolstered by recent military successes, claiming that Russian soldiers have influenced foreign assessments regarding the peace settlement. In a demonstration of military readiness, Putin was recently seen in army fatigues at a command post, receiving updates on Russia's advances in eastern Ukraine, particularly in the strategic city of Pokrovsk. Although fighting continues in Pokrovsk and Russian forces do not fully control the city, Russian officials seem confident that their military gains have resonated with U.S. negotiators. In November, Russian forces reportedly seized approximately 701 square kilometers of Ukrainian territory, bringing their total control to 19.3% of Ukraine. The Kremlin has expressed a willingness to continue discussions with U.S. officials as often as necessary. However, as relations between Russia and the U.S. appear to warm, tensions with Europe are escalating. Putin has accused European nations of sabotaging relations with the U.S. and imposing unacceptable demands that hinder the peace process. In response, UK officials dismissed Putin's remarks as yet more Kremlin claptrap from a president who isn't serious about peace. Meanwhile, NATO foreign ministers convened in Brussels, where Secretary General Mark Rutte emphasized the importance of ensuring Ukraine remains in a strong position to continue its defense. In a related development, EU member states have reached a landmark agreement aimed at achieving complete independence from Russian gas by the end of 2027. European Commission President Ursula von der Leyen heralded this as the dawn of a new era, which will prohibit long-term gas contracts with Russia starting September 2027. EU Energy Commissioner Dan Jorgensen reiterated the commitment to energy security, stating, "No more blackmail. No more market manipulation by Putin. We stand strong with Ukraine." Additionally, the European Commission has proposed a €90 billion fund to support Ukraine's military and essential services as the war continues. This funding would either require Belgium to agree to a reparations loan using frozen Russian assets or be sourced through international borrowing. Ukrainian Prime Minister Yulia Sviridenko welcomed the proposal, which would cover 2/3 of Ukraine's financing needs over the next 2 years. However, Belgium has expressed reluctance to utilize frozen assets due to potential legal ramifications from Moscow. The European Central Bank has also opposed the reparations loan, asserting it would not act as a financial backstop. The proposed loan is less than the initial 140 billion euros previously discussed, but German Foreign Minister Johann Wadephul expressed support while acknowledging Belgium's concerns. On the international stage, the United States, alongside 90 other nations at the United Nations, has demanded that Russia ensure the immediate and unconditional return of all Ukrainian children who have been forcibly deported. According to the Ukrainian government, over 19,000 children have been taken to Russia, with UK estimates suggesting around 6,000 have been placed in re-education camps. The International Criminal Court has issued an arrest warrant for Putin related to the unlawful deportation of children, charges that he and his government deny. As these high-stakes negotiations unfold, the world watches closely, hoping for a resolution to a conflict that has claimed countless lives and destabilized the region. That's all for this story. We upload videos every day covering many different subjects, so hit that subscribe button to stay informed. Thanks for watching.